Good afternoon and welcome to another video from Travels, coming to you from snowy St. Petersburg in Russia. So guys, today I'm going to talk about how to survive as a tourist in Russia, because it's not that simple these days. Russia's under international sanctions, so one does not simply go to Russia. So guys, I probably should have made this video at home instead of standing around in the cold, but I'm feeling good today. I've got some good energy and I wanted to get outside. I'm going to give you a rough outline of the situation here in Russia. So generally speaking, you cannot use international bank cards within Russia, cards that were issued outside of Russia. Now I've heard some talk about Union card. Maybe people can use Union card within Russia, because I think it's a Chinese payment system. So generally speaking, you'll be bringing cash into Russia. Now I highly recommend that you bring either dollars or euros. Now there's a little bit of a problem bringing euros into the country. Apparently you can't bring in more than 300 euros of cash into Russia, and that's not a Russian rule, that's a European Union rule. So there has been talk at the road borders coming into Russia, like from Estonia, that they're doing checks. So if you're taking a bus, the Lux Express for example, across the border, you may be checked. They have a dog that comes on and he's sniffing for cash. So I can tell you what happened to me. I bought euros into Russia. I'm not going to tell you how much, but I wasn't asked anything at all. I walked across the border. Had I taken the Lux Express bus across the border, it might have been a different situation. Now, I've also heard talk that if you can prove somehow, I don't know how, that these euros are for your personal use, then it's okay, but I don't know. Now, dollars are also a good idea for bringing into Russia, but as with the euros, you have to be careful, make sure they're in very good condition. So you don't want to have like writing over them and stuff like that. And something else you have to watch out for with dollars is chop marks. So I haven't seen these chop marks, but I've heard about them. Basically, dollars that are used in like ex-Soviet countries by like market traders and stuff like that, for some reason they put a chop mark on the note. Now if you try to exchange dollars with chop marks here in Russia, you might get a lower rate than you're hoping for. So they might say, look, we can take them, but you're going to get 10% less, so bear that in mind. Now obviously it's not ideal to be traveling around Russia with a bunch of cash, so what you can do when you arrive in Russia is open a bank account. Now opening a bank account is surprisingly easy in Russia. You go into a non-sanctioned bank. So I'm with Raiffeisen Bank. So basically I just went into Raiffeisen Bank, I handed over my passport, I gave them my Russian phone number, and that was it. It literally took less than 5 minutes and I was out the door. I had an app on my phone, Bob's Your Uncle, and they give you a card straight away, a payment card. Obviously doesn't have your name on it, but that's going to be your payment card in Russia. So guys, you're going to want to change your foreign currency into rubles when you're in Russia, and I'll tell you how to do that. Now if you look over there, I'm not going to get too close, but there's a bank called Avant-Garde Bank, and you can see like a security van there. And there's loads of tough-looking security guys outside. The place is like a fortress. They're very paranoid when you walk past, so I don't want to go up close and film it. But Avant-Garde are considered to have some of the best rates for changing money in St. Petersburg. So today, for example, I believe it's 74 rubles for 1 euro. And today is what, 12th of January, I think. Now you can also change other currencies in there. I've managed to change British pounds, and the rate is pretty normal. But you have to be careful because, okay, on this Avant-Garde Bank branch, it shows euros and dollars on the window. And when you go in, it's the right rate. But I've gone into the other Avant-Garde branch, and I've seen the list of currencies and the pound rate was there, but when I got to the actual cashier to change the money, she quoted a different rate. So be very careful when you go to the cashier, make sure you know what the rate is. Now guys, the ruble rate is pretty unstable at the moment, so you may choose when you come here to exchange your foreign currency bit by bit, because if the ruble weakens, then you could lose out otherwise, or for your personal peace of mind, you may prefer to just change your cash straight away and change a big chunk. Personally, when I go into Avant-Garde, I'm changing a couple of hundred. Anyway guys, so I'm gonna take you for a walk now. We're gonna go down to Raiffeisen Bank and I'll just show you how you deposit your rubles once you have them. Now, something very important to mention is like Russia is pretty much a cashless economy. If you try and pay with cash here, they look at you like you're a bit strange, It's something like Sweden. Now, I'm pretty much a cash guy. I prefer to pay cash wherever I go, but I have to admit defeat in Russia, because literally I can go to the gym and try to buy a bottle of water for 60 rubles and I hand over 100 rubles and they don't have change. So what are you going to do? Yeah, so once you have a Russian bank card in Russia, life's plain sailing here. You can hook it up to your Yandex taxi account. You can hook it up to, I'm going to get run over here. I didn't want to walk on the pavement because it's covered in salt. Yeah, you can hook it up to your Yandex account and lots of other things. Now, after I show you the bank, I'm going to talk about SIM cards. Now guys, across the other side of the street there we have Raiffeisen Bank. Now, Raiffeisen don't give a damn about sanctions or cancel culture. They're doing big business here in Russia at the moment. So, yeah, everything's working swimmingly at Raiffeisen for me at the moment. So let's go in and I'll show you how to deposit your cash that you changed at Avant-Garde Bank. In the bank now. So we want English language, PIN number, I'm not going to show you, you'll rob me otherwise. Okay, what do I want to do? Deposit cash, yes please. Currency rubles. Alright. Realtall Travels is going to put a total of 100 rubles in the machine. Which is about £1.10, £1.20, something like that. It's counting. There we go. Top of amount, 100 rubles, confirm. Receipt, card, thank you very much. We're now at Vkusna i Tochka, which is Russian McDonald's. And as you can see, it looks very nice inside. It's not like McDonald's in the West, where it's rowdy, broken old furniture, gherkins lying all over the floor. Now you feel like a normal person in Russia now. You brought cash into the country, you changed it at Avant-Garde Bank or another bank, and you've then deposited those rubles into your Raiffeisen bank account. Now, I've also heard that with some banks you can transfer money from overseas into your account here. Now, I've got a friend who's got a Citi bank account, so he transfers money from his home country in his Citibank account and transfers it into his account here. I'm not sure what the rate is, but it's probably not that great. Now in Russia there's not many kind of exchange offices. I mean, Avant-Garde, where we got our rubles from, is technically a bank, but a lot of other banks you'll go into if you want to change money there, first of all it's expensive. I mean, their rate that they advertise might be good, but then they charge you a service charge. And not only that, if you want to change money, you have to go into the bank with a notarized copy of your passport, notarized and translated. So it's just not worth it. Nobody does that. As you will have seen in my previous videos before, I've changed money here at Sverbank, but yeah, the rate wasn't very good. Avant-Garde is much better. Back in those days, I couldn't find anywhere else to change British pounds, but now it seems they're more widely accepted. Now guys, another option that you have if you're familiar with using cryptocurrencies is Binance. Now, I'm not using crypto much these days, so I'm not sure how it works, but yeah, apparently you can get your money somehow with Binance. It's another reason for putting big chunks of cash into your Russian bank account here is, you know, there can be lots of situations, like if you're booking a hotel or something like that, or I don't know, you're ordering food delivery, then you realize you don't have enough money in your account, and then you have to go to Avant-Garde, change some money, then go back to Raiffeisen, and if it's, you know, midnight and freezing bloody cold, you don't want to do that. If you are carrying, you know, sizable amounts of cash around with you in Russia, then you need to take some sensible precautions. A good way to carry your cash is to get some kind of shoulder bag, so you know it's always on your body. And never trust hotels. Never even trust hotel safes, because a lot of the time you can get into the back of the safe, and yeah, you definitely shouldn't trust cleaning staff in hotels with large amounts of money lying around. Now chaps, one other thing I wanted to mention is about the total amount of money you can bring into Russia. It's 10,000 euros or $10,000, I believe. So that's quite standard. That's the rule in other countries as well. But last time I flew into the country, they were checking. So yeah, when I arrived at the airport, they're checking every single note. So bear that in mind. Now another thing, prior to arriving in St. Petersburg, I walked across the border from Estonia to Russia. Now I changed a certain amount of money at a foreign exchange place in Estonia before I came to St. Petersburg, because I needed money to pay to get from the border to St. Petersburg, and also my first night in a hotel and stuff like that, because yeah, I didn't want to arrive late at night and then go to the only 24-hour Avant-Garde bank, because it's a little bit of a walk from here. Now I don't know what it's like when flying into the country. A lot of flights at the moment are coming from Turkey, so you might be able to get some rubles at the Turkish airport in advance now. But the rates, as we know, at airports are not very good, so you probably just want to change the minimum, to be honest. So yeah, I haven't been flying into Russia for a long time because the flights are expensive. For example, last time I checked, the flights going from Serbia, which is the only European country with flights to Russia, you're paying like 600-700 euros one way. Now the flights from Turkey are a lot cheaper, but they're still expensive, and of course most people have to get to Turkey as well. So another thing you want to do is get your SIM card sorted out. Now it's very cheap for SIM cards here, for data SIMs. You can just pay as you go for 1 month, and they just need your ID and that's it. Very, very simple. So I signed up for Tele2, which is reputed to be one of the best networks. So I found it very good so far. Another good one I heard is Megaphone or Megaphone. And as I mentioned in my last video, there's Beeline, which is generally the cheapest. You know, so if you're not too bothered about reliability, speed, stuff like that, then you can go for Beeline. So I'm going to show you my account with Tele2. I'm going to hide the phone number in case you prank call me in the middle of the night. So we can see here, look, I got so I had a total of 35 gigabytes. And I got 600 minutes of calls to any network. And I believe I paid 700 rubles, which in British pounds is about £8. So it's very, very good. Now everybody, I'm hearing you scream at me, "Tour Travels, how do I book a hotel in Russia?" Well, one does not simply book a hotel in Russia. So as some of you will know, booking.com is blocked in Russia. Airbnb is blocked as well. So we're kind of back to the old days. But luckily there's been some Russian equivalents that have popped up, and they're very, very popular and good as well. So I'm going to go home and I'm going to show you on my laptop how you search for a property in Russia. Now, another thing I wanted to mention is that you can also deposit euros and dollars in most banks here, I believe. Now, that could be useful if you don't want to carry around all this foreign currency, but I haven't tried it myself, so I don't know if there's some kind of restrictions or something like that. Okay guys, so changing money in any other way apart from an official method in Russia is technically illegal, but I'm not condoning this whatsoever. There are some Telegram groups where people change money, usually for a bit of a better rate than you would get at the bank. So it could be Russians who are trying to get their hands on some euros or dollars, or foreigners are exchanging money between themselves. So yeah, as I said, it's technically illegal and I'm not recommending it, but you can find these groups on Telegram. Now, another thing, when I came here last to Russia, there was a difference between the Google rate for foreign currency, or the interbank rate, and the rates that the offices were offering here. But now what I'm saying is they're about the same. So I believe today the euro is about 73 rubles online, and it's the same at Avant-Garde today. Now guys, the next thing I want to talk about is VPNs, because as many of you will know, the likes of Facebook, Instagram, and some other websites, news sites and whatnot are blocked in Russia. So that can be a bit annoying, because you know, you want to message your mum on Facebook or something and let her know that you're safe in big bad Russia. So yeah, you're going to need a VPN, and again, this is technically illegal. And I haven't used a VPN, but I've heard of VPNs that are working in Russia. And to be honest guys, I really don't think they're going to go after foreigners in Russia who are using VPNs to access social networks and stuff like that. They're more going after the VPN providers and getting them blocked. Anyway guys, so I'm not going to mention the VPNs that work in Russia, but there are ones that work. Because if I mention them, then if somebody gets wind of that, they're going to try and block them. So, I don't know, maybe they already know about them and they can't block them for some reason or another. So don't take what I said today as gospel. I'm just rattling things off the top of my head. I'm sure there's people watching this video that know more about these things than me, and if so, maybe leave something in the comments. So I just had a nice feed in Tarielka restaurant. It's very good buffet food. So now let's go home to my boudoir and I'll tell you all about hotels in Russia. On the website for booking accommodation in Russia, it's called ostrovok.ru. Now this is, I believe, the most popular website, but there's another one called Zen Hotels, I think, but I haven't used it. Anyway, so let's try. There we go. Look, St. Petersburg in Russia. And what date are we on today? Let's try checking in tomorrow, Friday the 13th. Oh my God. And checking out on Sunday. So 2 nights, 1 person. As we can see, everything's in English language here. So let's see what we got. So there we go. The first result, $53 for 2 nights in a 3-star hotel. So that's not bad, is it? Now, I want to talk about reviews. We can see this hotel has a review rating of 8.9, but these are TripAdvisor reviews, and they don't hold too much weight to me, you know, because anybody can do a review on TripAdvisor. But anyway, let's look for some more details here. So there we go, checking in on the 13th, check out on the 15th. Standard single rooms. If you're coming here on your own, then that could be enough for you. Meals are not included. $53, 14 meters squared. It's got a window, which is always nice. Let's have a look at the photos. Oh, this is nice. This is better than my place. So yeah, you can see it looks very nice. And if you want to book, just click book now, and then you just put in all your details, your email address, first name, last name, telephone number, your citizenship, arrival time. It's good to give people an idea of what time you're arriving. And once you've done all that, you click continue. Well, I can't click continue now, but anyway, you just put in your card details, your Russian card details on the next page, so it's very easy. So let's go back to the main screen and go through some of the other options here. Very similar to booking.com, to be honest. You can set a limit for how much you want to pay per night. So yeah, you got all the different property prices here: hotels, hostels, apartments, apartment hotels, glampings. I have no idea what a glamping is, but there you go. And yeah, you can choose swimming pool if you want a swimming pool, spa, ski slope nearby, hey? Jacuzzi, electric car charging, and then you can check, see if you want breakfast included. The stars, like how many stars this property has, the review rating. Now, a lot of the time you have to pay up front for the hotel, but there's an option similar to with booking.com where you don't have to pay up front, but it says in the terms that they can charge you at any point. So bear that in mind. So yeah, you could say pay later, like when you arrive at the hotel, but you turn up at the hotel and they say, well, we've already charged your card. So there's all the districts here you can stay in. I like to stay near Nevsky Street, the main drag. So there we go, Nevsky Street. So there's lots of ways you can refine your search. So I think that's about it, to be honest. It's very, very easy. And like I said, at this time of year, they have some great deals on hotels. So you can get some really nice places for not very much at all. Look at that, $26 for 2 nights. 9.6 rating. Let's have a closer look at that one. Yeah, looks nice. Big room, not bad at all. Anyway, guys, so that is how to book a hotel in Russia.